welcome to the inaugural episode of Ask and Elevate podcast, a safe space for teens to ask their most pressing questions without judgment, without being put on punishment, getting honest feedback, and sometimes anonymously if they choose. This first question hit home for me. More on that later. The first question comes from Brandon. Pause. Should I, if the questions are anonymous, say that, hey, this is an anonymous question, or should I make up a name? Making up a name sounds fun for me, but just so that you guys know if it's anonymous or not, it helps a lot with understanding the questions sometimes. Let me know in the comments what I should do. All right, so this question is from Brandon. Brandon says, hey, I need to know how to do stuff without waiting until it's too late. Great question, Brandon. It sounds like you're seeking advice on time management, avoiding procrastination, and prioritizing your tasks. I hope I'm right with that. So here's a few things that I do when I'm struggling with the spirit of procrastination. So the first thing you'll need to do, Brandon, is set clear goals. I'm assuming that you are speaking of homework assignments. I'm just going to assume that you're a high school student, and I'll also give it the example of homework so that other students can get and find this information helpful. Okay, so the first thing you want to do is set very clear goals with the things that you are trying to accomplish. Again, we're using homework as the example. So let's just say that you have a science project or a science assignment, you have a math assignment, and possibly an English paper that you have to complete. Okay, so for each of those three things, I want you to write a clear goal. And so what the clear goal will look like is, what is the assignment that you're working on? So if it's a science project that requires you to, reach a certain goal, you're going to write that out so that it's very clear what you are doing with that particular task. Okay. The next thing you're going to do for the math assignment, write out how many assignments that you have so that you know what you're working on. Are we working on algebra today? And we have to do, chapters 1 through 6. For each one of your tasks, I want you to write out specifically what you are trying to get accomplished. So that's setting a clear goal for each task. The next thing I want you to do, Brandon, is to set a clear schedule. So what that looks like for you, you have math, science, and English assignments, right? So if you know that these three assignments have different due dates, you want to set days of the week that you are working on your homework assignments, right? So if you get math on Wednesdays, then you know that Wednesdays is a good night for you to work on homework. So set a schedule so that you have a day of the week that you work on each one of these tasks. The next thing that I want you to do, Brandon, is to prioritize your task. So let's take that science project, for example. If it has a due date on it, and we're in the summer now, so let's just say that it's due July the 31st. You want to set a date for each one of your classes, each one of your tasks. So that's English, math, and science. Write the due date on them. That's going to help you prioritize when you need to work on them. The next thing I need you to do, Brandon, is to avoid all distractions. So that's going to look like you finding a space in your home, in a public library, at a friend's house, in the backyard, under a tree, I don't know, a place where you can't pick up your cell phone, a place where you can't turn the channel or hear the dog barking and want to go play with him. A place where family can't come through and distract you with a good time, or you smell dinner cooking, so you're going to hang out by the stove. Find a place where you are utterly, totally bored, not bored with work, but bored that you have to focus on the tasks that you have at hand. So you have your clear goals, you've prioritized, you've set a schedule for the days of the week. You also prioritized when those assignments are due. You have no distractions. The next thing to do is to get the work done. While you're working on these projects, you have everything ready to go and you're ready to kill these projects. You want to make sure that you are staying organized. So you don't want to mix a science task on a Wednesday night when you're doing math. So stay organized with the schedule that you've set for yourself. And so that brings us to the final step, practice self-discipline. So what this may require is for you to ask for help. so that family, friends, no one distracts you during your working hours so that you can focus on your task. It will require practice. I can tell you that because I'm easily distracted. It could be a squirrel outside the window, a bird eating bird feed. And I'm gone. So it will require practice and it will require that you get support from family and friends who are in your vicinity while you're working. I hope this helps, Brandon. If not, send me an email and we'll schedule you a mentoring session to help you figure out what works best for you. So here is why this question hit home for me. I've wanted to start Ask and Elevate podcasts for at least 2 to 3 months. I procrastinated. The very first was I don't have a mic. The second was I don't have time. So then I began to prioritize all of the tasks that I needed to do with Strength to Elevate. So after I ran out of priority things to do, I then started making excuses. My hair is not done. I don't have time. I don't have a good mic. I don't have good lighting to record. I mean, when I ran out of excuses, I was like, I just have to get it done. The reality is, all of the things that we place in front of getting tasks done are not worth it. We will never have perfect conditions to do the things that we are tasked to do. All we have to do is our very best at getting them done. So I hope this helps you, Brandon. And anybody else that struggles with the procrastination spirit, heed this warning. Time is the only commodity that we can't get back. We can't rewind it. We can't buy more time. We can't borrow time from anyone. So if you're faced with all the things, all the tasks, just get them done. Figure out how to make them a priority. Figure out how to set a schedule. Practice self-discipline and do all the things. I hope this helps. Talk soon.